everybody, welcome back to another video. Today is going to be something a little bit different. I'm actually going to do like a makeup declutter because I know I've been promising y'all a makeup collection, and so there was a lot of stuff that was within my collection that I knew I had wanted to get rid of, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that first so that y'all can see what I'm about to get rid of, and that way I can go ahead and do the makeup collection with everything that I am going to hold on to for the foreseeable future. So yeah, if you want to see what I am about to purge out of my makeup collection, what I'm about to get rid of in order to declutter, then just go ahead and keep watching. Okay, so here is everything that I am going to get rid of. It's an Ulta bag that's full of stuff. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this. Some of it is pretty old, some of it is not so old. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started with what's out here on the carpet. So the Stila, I don't even remember what this palette was called. It was the A Whole Lot of Love gift set, and this was last year's holiday collection, and it's an eyeshadow palette. Super cute. It opens up like a little love letter, and so I'm a little sad to part with it because of that. I love the packaging. I just am not super thrilled about Stila eyeshadows. I don't think they're really pigmented. I just tend to not gravitate towards them. So this is what it looked like. And literally out of this whole set, this was the only shade I really loved. That one was good, but everything else was pretty, just not really on par to the type of quality that I really like to use in an eyeshadow. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Moving on to a couple, I have a lot of like samples and stuff that I ended up redeeming points for from Sephora that I kind of regret redeeming points for. These are those Bite Beauty sets that came with a little mirror, and it came with a little travel size lipstick. I think it also came with a gloss, and I may have already used the gloss. Actually, no, I didn't. So it came with the gloss, the lipstick, and the mirror, which is cute, but obviously, if I haven't used it this long, it's probably been sitting in my drawer for about a year. I'm just not going to end up using it at all. And so I'd rather move it on to somebody who will get good use out of it. And so I've got a couple of those. I'm trying to see if they, well, I don't remember what shades they are, but anyways, this one is pretty old. It's the Too Faced Naked Eye. It's when they came in these little thicker box sets. It got some use. A couple of them are like, there's pretty good dent made in that right there. But it's just not getting used anymore. And so it's time to move that on. This was the Lorac, what is this? The Alter Ego eyeshadow palette in Heartbreaker. And I get these and then I regret having gotten them, and they're not very expensive. So obviously this is the first time I film a video in which I'm holding the camera and trying to maneuver with my other hand, so I'm sorry, I'm kind of new at this. So it is pretty, their colors are very pigmented, it's just not something that I really gravitate towards. And these are usually sold at Ulta. And again, I just end up regretting having bought them. I just need to learn my lesson. This is a Too Faced, this is the Love, was it called the Love Palette? Passionately Pretty Eyeshadow Collection. And this is one of those that as soon as I bought it and it came in, I just wasn't crazy about the packaging. It's pretty similar to the Return of Sexy, even though I do like that one because of the shimmer. This one is just okay, and I just tend to, again, I don't gravitate towards this one. It's got a few pretty shades, but nothing that's really stand out or out of the ordinary that would make me want to hold on to it. But yeah, it's okay. It's time to move it along. This one's something that a lot of people are into, and I used it because it was at the time where it was getting a lot of hype, and I just am not really, I never was really crazy about it. I just don't feel like the shades were super buttery, and it's just not, it didn't have a whole lot in here that I would want to work with all in one look. And so it's going to move along as well. I have quite a bit of like sample size products because I get these in my Sephora Play box, and I end up, there's some things that I just am not going to use, so I would rather move those along. A lot of this my mom will get because she likes to sift through what I'm going to get rid of. But this is one of the little creamy lip stains. These I really do like. I have 2 or 3 in the full size and I love them. It's just that I'm not going to put this one to good use, and so The Elizabeth and James Nirvana. I love the bourbon scent, but the rose scent is just not my thing. I just don't like how it smells. Let's kind of move some of this out. Again, on the sample bandwagon, the Facial Radiance Pads by First Aid Beauty. This is the Too Faced bronzer. It's not the milk chocolate, it's the Chocolate Soleil original chocolate, and you can tell how old this is because it's in the super old packaging. They have since prettied it up a little bit more. And you know, how sometimes in my videos I tell you, you know, we makeup junkies end up not ever hitting pan because there's just so much to go through. And I've almost hit pan. You can see the little ring in there, but you can also see it's gotten kind of bumpy and just kind of, you know, it's time to throw this one out. It's time to retire that one. I a lot of times will move things by MAC on. Now this particular one is the BB cream, and it is actually a shade too dark at this point. I bought it in medium, and I really did like it, but it's not something I gravitated towards, and it's probably a couple years old, 2-3 years old at this point. So I'm going to move it along. However, what I like to do with MAC products is I let my mom kind of have first pick on if it's something she's going to want to continue using, because if it is, I'll let her have them. If not, I do the back to MAC where you can turn in 6 of the containers, and you're able to pick out a free lipstick or eyeshadow, which I usually go for the lipstick. Here's another MAC product. This was the MAC Luster Drops. This was in the shade Barbados Girl, and this was part of the Riri Loves MAC. I don't even know why that's not focusing. That was part of the Riri Hearts MAC or Loves MAC collection. It's not focusing, I'm sorry. A few years ago, and it's just something that I did not use very often, and I came across it in my drawer, and it's probably got like this much left, like a fourth, and I'm thinking, that must have evaporated or something, because I know I have not used nearly that much. Let's see what else. Okay, the Naked and Naked 2. So a lot of people love these, and I think they're really great. The only thing is I tend to like, while I do love neutrals and I love to put them in the crease, I love it when palettes already come with it so I can use one palette for my whole look, or, you know, even a couple. But I just found myself not gravitating towards these hardly at all. I used the first one quite a bit, I feel like, but not anything to where I hit pan. And so this one, was this the, yeah, this was the original one. So you can see it got a little bit of use, not a whole lot. And there's just so many neutrals now out on the market that these little palettes tend to be a little bit more cumbersome for me, because then I end up having to store them all in a certain area, whereas the longer ones, you know, you can kind of make them as like a little library, just kind of, you know, put each one. When I show my makeup collection, you'll see how I have those sorted out. And then the 2 right here, which was couple of little bit of cooler colors, but again, it got used a few times and not enough to warrant me holding on to them or keeping them just to take up space. I'd want them to get used. Here's a sample size or a deluxe size product that came in my Sephora Play Box. It's the Caudalie Vino Source Cream Sorbet. It's not going to get used. And then let's bring some of this out of this bag. Let's see, what's this? Okay, I was so excited about this, the NARS Miss Liberty, I guess, highlight or topper that I had it was on my wish list for so long, and then I bought it, and I'm not sure why it hardly got used. I pulled it out a few days ago, and I was like, yeah, there's from the time I got this, which was a few years ago, to now, there's just been so many strides in the highlighting area that it's like, it's just not even worth it. So see, that's what it looks like. It does have glitter in it, and it's got, you can tell like where the powder is, but it really just goes on so sheer. It's just not something not worth holding on to for me. And then another MAC product. This was years ago. This was the I think it was, what collection was this? Like the Surfer Girl or something like that. I don't remember, but it was where all the packaging looked like a surfboard. It's really cute. This one was in Solar Riche, which they re-promote this pretty much every single summer collection. And this, again, there's been so many strides in the bronzing area that just this one is very powdery and dry for me. It doesn't really, I don't know, it takes a lot to build it up. It's not something that I really need anymore or use. It's probably been a couple of years since I last used it, and so I figure, well, it's time to back to Mac that bad boy and get something else that I will use. A couple of drugstore products, the Maybelline Color Tattoo. If I don't use these often enough, they start to dry up. Even though I close the lid tightly, I try to put them upside down. My MAC paint pots usually, those keep really well. They're really soft still. I mean, I really like how they keep. These tend to get harder quicker. But let's see, this one was in the shade Nude Compliment. And this one was a limited edition in the shade Blue Paradise. This one was really nice. But it's time to move those on, just kind of taking up space, and I have not used them. Here's a deluxe size of a Bite Amuse-Bouche lipstick in the shade Kimchi. It's like almost kind of like a hot pink, and it's kind of a little deluxe size. It came in my Sephora Play box and probably sometime back. Another Too Faced product. This was was it like Sweethearts? Is the Soulmates. They had two of them. This particular one is in Carry and Big. And so this one I think is the peachier one. But there's been so many advancements in the bronzing area that this doesn't really speak to me anymore. And I love this color for blush. But it's so tiny that like when you try to dip your brush in to get that product, you end up getting some of the bronzer as well. And so I just think it's time to move this along. Packaging is cute, looks like the flushed blushes, but it's just in a little bit of a bigger heart package. But yeah, time to move that one along. Then I have the, let's see, this one's the MAC Riri Hearts MAC, or Riri Loves MAC. This is one of the eyeshadow quads. I'm going to hold on to the other one just because of the packaging. I went through a lot to try and get this collection. I went and stood in line like at, I don't know, 6 in the morning. Store opened at 10. So I remember this collection was crazy popular. I mean, you could not get your hands on it online. But again, MAC eyeshadows are just not my cup of tea. They're very dry. I did buy one palette from the Mariah collection, and so that's mainly, again, the packaging was so pretty, and I thought, okay, there's a couple of shades I really think are nice that I'd like to use, but not because I think MAC eyeshadows in particular are anything spectacular. They're usually dry and really hard to get up on your brush. MAC is amazing in a lot of other areas. It's just eyeshadows, they're not my preference. A Smashbox eyeshadow. This was in the shade Flamingo, and it's a really pretty orange shade. I got it at the outlet store that sells, let me see if I can open this. I don't know that I can. There we go. It's, what is it? The Cosmetics Company outlet, I think. And they sell pretty much like MAC, Bobbi Brown, Smashbox. They have a lot of high-end products. You may have one near you, but see, it's a real pretty, almost like an orange sherbet type shade, I think. And it's very, very soft. I think the pigmentation is really nice. The consistency is really nice. It's just, again, one of those things that just does not get used very often. I can't tell you the last time I used it, and I just got the rug stuck in here. And so it's time to move it along. The next few items are the Kat Von D Studded Kiss lipsticks. These are the deluxe size versions because they were they were a set for holiday a couple of years ago. And I probably shouldn't have thrown away the box because now they're just kind of loose. And yeah, I just, when you're in a hurry, you're not going to go through 10 mini lipsticks and try to find the shade that you're wanting to wear for the day. So I figure, you know what, I will move these on to somebody who will get good use out of them. I have a Clinique concealer. This is called the Even Better Concealer in the shade Natural. And I got this at the Cosmetic Company outlet as well, probably a couple of years ago. Don't really get a whole lot of use out of it. It's not my favorite concealer, so I'm going to move that along. This is the Dry Bar Bay Breeze Hydrating Shot, and this was part of my Sephora Play box probably a month or two ago. And so I don't really use sprays like this, and so I'm not even going to try it out. I'm going to move it on to somebody who will use it. I have one ColourPop eyeshadow. I love ColourPop, and so I really didn't part with any. I'm going to part with this one. It's in the shade Fantasy, and it's kind of like a fuchsia pink type color, and it's just not something I really wear. I've worn all the others several times, and this is one I've just worn once. So it's time to move that one along. This one is a Tarte concealer. It is the, I don't know if it's going to say, let's see. Yeah, it does. I'm sorry. It's the Amazonian Clay Waterproof Concealer. Is that going to show up? I hope so. This is in the shade Light Medium Beige. It's just a stick concealer. It's not something that I really felt was amazing coverage. And so it's, you know, it got quite a bit of use, but that's what's left of it. But yeah, there's others, again, that have since come out that are just amazing. And so it's time to part with this one. I've got something from another Sephora Play. I want to say this was from my first Sephora Play box a long time ago, back when they first started, probably the second or third month. And this is the Clinique Chubby Stick Sculpting Highlight. And it's basically, you know how Clinique is famous for their chubby sticks. And this one, again, it looks like just a really big crayon, and it's a good base if you're going to put powder on top. But it's just not something that I really use. I've used it a few times. It's not something I would buy a full size of. So yeah, time to move that along. Ooh, we're almost at the end. Last are a few deluxe size products. I want to say I redeemed my points for these and ended up either not using them or using it once. It's the same shade. Let me see. It's the Tarteist Lip Paint, and I'm trying to see what shade this is in. Okay, I don't think it says. Okay, well, it's one of the nude shades. It's probably the lightest nude shade. So 2 of those, and then a couple of these last 2 items are a couple of the Amuse-Bouche lipsticks by Bite Beauty. One is in the shade Licorice, and that is kind of like the dark, vampy wine purple type color. And I did get a little bit of use out of this one, as you can see. And again, most of this stuff is going to my mom, and she doesn't care that I've used it. I mean, I don't think I would, I don't know how I feel about moving stuff onto friends. If I've used it, I feel bad, but my mom doesn't care. And then this one is in the shade Bellini, and it's a hot pink. And these are actually pretty decent sizes. They look kind of tiny, but you know, Sephora had put out a collection of these in this size, and actually this is the type of lipsticks prior to the Amuse-Bouche because it doesn't have that little wave on the top. But you know, these are actually decent sizes, and Sephora had put out a set of them for like, I think it was like $175 for about, I don't know, 30 or 35. But with points, you can rack them up pretty quickly. So yeah, there is my pile of stuff that is gonna be, it's on its way out, it's headed out, just to kind of free up a little bit of space and declutter a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you, I had really never done this before, and so the whole reason I really wanted to do it was because I am going to get the video up for y'all of my makeup collection, and so I thought now was the perfect time to get this done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you very, very soon. Okay guys, so let me give you the verse of the day before I let you go. Today comes from Proverbs 16:3, and it says, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans." The best place for your dreams, your hopes, whatever you want in life, your best place for that is in God's hands, because He has the ultimate plan, and He knows what the desires of your heart are. So if it's in line with what He knows and is, you know, best for you, then it will happen. If not, if things don't work out for you, it's not because God is being mean. It's just that He knows the ultimate plan, and He knows what could hurt you or what would bring you the best for your life. So commit to Him, your hopes, your dreams, your plans, everything, and you know, He will help you succeed. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was a very different type of video, but I really do look forward to seeing you in my next video. If you have not already subscribed, I hope you will. This way you're notified of any future videos I post. If you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up, and if you'd like to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at Michelle's Glamour. Alright guys, see you very soon. Bye!